Let's Talk Oculus, a VR podcast, is proudly sponsored by the good folks at Patreon. If you want to support the show, join us on patreon.com/Let's Talk Oculus. What's up, Oculus nerds? Welcome back to Let's Talk Oculus episode 189. Sorry, I got confused for a sec because 189, we're so close, Samson, to 200.
Yeah, it's wild. Honestly, it's crept up on me now.
Yeah, that's why it just threw me off big time. I was like, whoa.
Yeah, 11 more. It's what, 2.5 months, 3 months, something like that?
We're going to have to do a live stream for our 200th episode, just like we did for 100.
I do remember you saying it would be sometime in August, I feel.
Yeah, exactly. So we'll have to do a live stream. I'm Dan, just in case some people have never joined the show before and they didn't know what this slightly weird British/Canadian accent is now. I'm joined by Samson, as always, the Raptor Cliffs chief. How you doing?
Oh, I am doing well. Yep, got my Raptors Cliff gear. It looks like I went to a gift shop at a mini golf course. At a walkabout mini golf course, almost.
Right. Now, the big thing about this show is that are you going to call me Mike at any time?
Probably not.
Probably not. Shout out to Live Over Mike. Thanks so much for filling in last week. Listened to the show and it was great. You guys play so many games, but I think he even surprised you with the amount of games that you played. To be honest,
yeah, he was, and I mean now it puts into perspective why I don't end up. It takes me a long time to get to the end of a lot of games, the ones that I do get to. Like I'm still working on Ghost Town, but I did roll credits this week. Little teaser, Midnight Walk.
Not on Ghost Town, but you're close. You're close on Ghost Town. It looks like you've got to where I was, to be honest. So
yeah, that's exactly what I got there. I remembered you mentioning all that stuff, and I was like, all right, I'll pause.
Yeah, okay, I'll pause, and then we've got other things to do. We'll come back to it. We will come back to it, but other things to do. Welcome everybody. Episode 189. The VR storm is coming. There is so much VR news to cover today. We're actually recording this late just because I've been away. So the state of play for PlayStation VR has just happened, which had one Quest announcement, which was cool. But amongst that, it's the Summer Games Fest. And, that's actually starting by the time this podcast actually comes out. But things are starting to be announced around it. And
there are rumors.
There's rumors galore. There's new hardware rumors. There's Quest 4 delays. There's all sorts. There's so much to get into. But first, a bit of housekeeping as normal. If you haven't joined the Discord already, there's a few people who did join recently, actually. Welcome. And you can join the Discord as well using the link below in the show notes. There is plenty of multiplayer games that are going on. We've got Walkabout multiplayer going on. Samson, you do Among Us and Quake nights occasionally with your
yes. I forgot to write that in the show notes. I'm glad you brought that up because I did get in a Quake night, I believe, since we last talked. And the next Quake night is next week, actually. So it's coming right up.
There we go. So join the Discord so you can be a part of those, of course. And if you like us so much, throw us $1 at patreon.com/Let's Talk Oculus just to help support the channel. Shout out to Joel I can't say his name properly. Bovidius.
I'm not even looking at it. I feel that's just from my memory. That felt good though. I feel like that's good.
And also to Leana, who all won the Synthriders 90s song pack giveaway, which I announced last time I was on, so 2 episodes ago. All 3 of them put in their suggestions, and they all got the codes.
Yes.
So enjoy that. And obviously, if you want to be a part of more giveaways, once again, the Discord's a good place to join because we have a giveaway channel. And occasionally something gets thrown in there.
And a lot of flat games recently got put into one of the channels. I forget.
It did, yeah. I couldn't tell you. We have a lot of channels now. But so definitely join us on that. And final little housekeeping / non-housekeeping. We've got our listener comments. We haven't got any comments, not that many comments recently. I mean, there's been a lot of discussion in the Discord, a lot of like asking for recommendations and such, but I feel like they get answered so quickly and such, unless it's something significant. I
Oh,
don't think it's
well,
needed, but
there
yeah, go on.
was one. There was one. Somebody was asking about playing two quests. Uh, on the same account.
Mm-hmm.
And I honestly I haven't even tried that in a long time because I'm pretty sure certain most things won't work that way. But what you can do is set up a second meta account on on the secondary quest, and then on the primary account set up share like allow
Yeah, and you can
shared
share the
apps.
apps
Yeah,
and such.
and then the secondary account can then use. It's not all the apps. Like I don't see all my apps there, but it's a good chunk. It's a good chunk of them.
Yeah, I wonder if you can play the apps at the same time
Well,
as.
then you can. Then like
Then you
that's how you'd
can.
have to
Oh,
play
okay.
Walkabout. Like so, if you have Bob and Jill,
Mm.
Bob is primary. Sorry,
Yeah.
sorry, Jill, and Jill is secondary. But Bob
Mm-hmm.
on his secondary quests allows shared apps, and then Jill logs into secondary quest. So Jill is logged in, Bob is locked in,
Got it.
and then they both play Walkabout.
Yeah, reason why I ask is that I know, like, for me and my dad, we both share PS5. Well, I have the main account, and then I share with him, and it just it allows me to go onto his account and download the games onto my account, so he can also play it with his own because of the way it works. It's like kind of like a little bit of a loophole, but I think it's actually also designed that way in a way. But yeah, that works kind of the same way. He can play it, I can play it, and it doesn't matter if both of us are playing it; it still works the same.
Because you're
So I was
both
wondering
on your
if,
account.
yeah, because we're both on the account, so it doesn't matter. So yeah, I guess if it was the same account, then it doesn't work, and that's what you're trying to solve here.
Also,
Yeah,
sorry, I'm just going to chime in once
okay.
more because this also came up, and it's not something we talk about a lot because you got laser surgery, and I'm blessed with not having to pay to be able to see. Is there are prescription lenses? There's a lot of different options out there. I don't
Mm-hmm.
really know enough because I haven't really done the research on them to recommend one, but just Google Quest
Mm-hmm.
3. Pop pop. I afraid DMAX recommend. Come on down to the Discord. DMAX has some
There
recommendations.
are some. There's honestly a lot of them are the ones I've tried when I did have glasses. All are kind of they do the job, right?
Yeah.
Like the official one that you can get from the Quest store, which is through a specific company that I forget on the top of my head. They work totally fine. That the thing is, once you have it, it works fine. But there was one specific company, and I can't remember this on top of my head, so I'll put it in the show notes, just in case anyone's listening. But they sent me a pair of lenses once when I was doing the YouTube channel, and I actually preferred them more because they were magnetic. So
Easy.
you'd put like the main shell in there, and then the lenses were magnetically attached to them, which is great because if you're sharing your VR headset and such, you can just pop them off real easily. Where the official ones, which I got first, they were like clip-ons,
Yeah.
so they were great if you're not sharing your quest and it's just you. Who cares? Get anyone and it'll still work great. But because I was sometimes like with my roommates at the time, I was like sharing the quest just so they could see. I'd have to pop the lenses off, and they're so thin is that the one of them ended up snapping. And luckily, I had that second one available to me. So I'll try and pull it up, but I'll probably not pull it up on the show. But I'll put it in the show notes so you'll know what I'm talking about. So the magnetic ones are cooler,
So,
but
well,
yeah.
Dan, now we can get to the listener comments.
Yeah, well, we got one listener comment on YouTube. This is from Eric Hertzfeld 4823 for 187 on the summer backlog episodes, the last one that I was on. He says, "Hey guys, you mentioned galactic traffic control. I recommend checking out Project Eros. That's AEROES. It's like air and heroes put together.
Yeah.
It's also a mixed
Creative.
reality." Yeah, mixed reality traffic type game. Very cool and only $2.99, or at least currently at the moment.
Let's hope now is still currently.
Yeah, I mean, I think currently it's like I think the main price is like $4.99, so it's not like a big deal or anything like that.
That's a bank breaker.
Yeah, backbreaker. I've not played this yet, but it's looks like full on room scale mixed reality. It actually gives me some Rocket vibes in a way, in the way it's kind of set up. itself. But a lot of good reviews for this. But essentially, it's the same kind of thing of what you were saying, that game that you're playing, Galactic Control, where like you're trying to get all these ships and kind of land them in a platform. And apparently, it's got a bopping soundtrack, is what I read from the reviews.
Bopping.
A bopping soundtrack.
Got a 4.8, 112 reviews. That's pretty good.
That's really good. Yeah, it's classed as a rhythm game on
lots of DLC here too. That's probably why it's so cheap.
Yeah, Samson, I think this is one for you. Yeah, it is. It's like you can buy like a bundle and like you can buy more. It looks like you can buy more like
different ships or something.
Ships and such, yeah, and yeah, it can add up. I don't think it's much though. I think it's like an extra like $10 to get everything. So if you really were loving it, it's worth it. But that's a good entry point. So thanks for the recommendation. I've not checked it out. I've been away for the last 10 days pretty much, but that will be on the list.
Welcome back.
For sure. Welcome back. Samson, we have a lot of news. There's so much news and so much like worthy news.
Last week was
like,
games.
Yeah, last week was games. This week is news, but it's game news and non-game news as well. But sometimes when it comes to the news, if some people are like, oh, I don't want to listen to the news, I cherry pick the news stories. Like sometimes there's loads of stuff that's happening, and I'm like, do I have anything to say about it? Do I not have anything to say? If it's like meh and we move on, most of the time I won't include it. Everything that I put in here, I think is worth at least a little bit of a discussion, to be honest. Maybe one quick one on part 2 doesn't need too much, but most of it needs a discussion.
I see you even have a question on one of them.
Exactly. Like there's a lot. We've got, I don't know, it's like 5 pages of script here, but we're going to try and get through within the hour. So don't
I've got some Among Us to get to, okay?
Yeah, exactly. Let's begin. And probably with the biggest, I would say, news story that came out over the last few days is that the biggest rumor is that the Quest 4 has been reportedly pushed to 2027. And the priority now for Meta for next year is a ultralight headset with a puck. Now, when I first put this news story in, I saw Luna on Twitter and Brad Lynch. Sadly, it's Bradley who reported that.
Sadly, it's Dadley.
Sorry, my apologies. But now you've got, obviously, Upload VR have investigated into it. Wall Street Journal have chimed into it today, actually, and added more rumors to it as well. And they're normally pretty good when it comes to their insights. So what we're looking at is, when the Quest 4 was kind of leaked last year to come out in 2026, there's two versions, the Pismo Low and the Pismo High, which is like your Quest S,
the 3S,
yeah. But they're now being cancelled, and the shift is to this puck, and there's a lot of things that's going on. So let me just go over what the Upload VR article was talking about, and then we can kind of get into thoughts. So they say that the company is accelerating its plans for extremely light, open headset with a tethered compute puck running the same Horizon OS as today's headsets, codenamed Puffin. Meta is exploring multiple display system approaches for the Puffin at differing price points, which is not yet settled on. And according to the Informations report from last year, which they reported on all of the little prototypes, the Puffin resembles a bulky pair of glasses that weighs less than 110 grams. The report also described that Puffin is not including any controllers, instead of using gaze and pinch, just like the Apple Vision Pro. Part of the reason for Puffin's remarkably lightweight is that it offloads both the battery and the computing hardware in an external tethered puck. And then one little thing extra that Wall Street Journal chimed in is that they're aiming for less than $1,000, and they're planning to release the premium virtual reality headset next year, which looks similar to a large pair of eyeglasses with a puck, basically referring to the same thing that the other article's done. So there's a lot of like sources now, a lot of articles that have come to it. It looks like, Samson, that the shift is going to spatial computing. They've seen the Apple Vision Pro, they've seen that market, and that's the market that they're going to go for. First of all, do you have any thoughts on this little shift? Are you sad that the Quest 4 is not going to be next year and you're going to have to wait?
No, I was in fact getting nervous. I was hoping that the Quest 4 would get pushed. I'm okay with it probably getting pushed a year or maybe even 2 years. Give devs, more time to
Agreed.
take advantage of all this Quest 3 business. I still feel like most people haven't converted from the Quest 2 to the Quest 3. Like,
A lot of people, yeah.
yeah,
A lot of games are still just Quest 2 as well. Like
or both.
there's only like what, Batman, and is there another game that I'm
Yeah,
missing?
there's a lot. There's a lot. I mean, not like 100, but
There's not
a
many
good
though.
amount.
You're not missing out too much.
Yeah, I mean, there's a good amount with Quest 3 upgrades,
Right,
at the very
right.
least. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
They basically saw Apple's Vision Pro and they were like, $3,500? We could do better. And here we are. If they can pull out what's essentially an Apple Vision Pro for under $1,000, they've got something on their hands. Am I that interested in it? No, not really. I don't really want to enter the world of spatial compooping yet.
Compooping. is that the name
Sorry,
term?
I meant computing.
right.
And but yeah, I mean, it sounds great. It sounds cool. I'm sure it'll be great for businesses. Maybe, hopefully, we'll see.
There are also just people who want the
the
Apple Vision Pro, basically.
The thing
right?
is, they haven't done what is going on with Meta Workrooms, right? Like,
right.
But we'll see. So is this? It'll obviously have tracking cameras, right?
Yeah,
because it'll be tracking your hands. Do you think you'll be able to use like the Quest Pro controllers or like some
I think
sort
so.
of?
Yeah, I think so. I think you could be able to buy Quest controllers and such and use it if you wanted to. You should be able to play like some games and such on there for sure.
Ooh.
I would say.
What do you
it's
think?
Just going to be.
What do you think? Resolution and all that.
I think it will be pretty much resemble a Quest 3. To be honest, it's just that they're going to rip out the internals of the Quest 3 and put it in a puck. Essentially,
I mean,
I think
the Vision Pro's OLED, right?
Yeah, I don't think they're going to do that. I don't think they're going to get to less than $1,000. I think I think they have to. They might have like an OLED version. There'll
be none of the business on the front, right?
Right. But the Upload VR article does say that they're looking at different kind of display system approaches, so different price points. So there'll probably be a less than $1,000 one LCD, and then a more than that for an OLED version. So I can see that happening for sure. But this is essentially their next Quest Pro, to be honest.
Yeah.
This is their next revision of Quest Pro. It's a Quest Pro 2. And
what's the chip?
Yeah.
It'll be Quest 3's chip? It'll be the next chip?
I don't know at the moment. At the moment, they're just all we know in terms of the reports is that it will run the same software. So run Horizon.
I feel
OS,
like it would make sense for it to use the next chipset.
It would make sense,
and
right?
Not fall into the same trap again.
What they did last time. Yeah, it would make sense. Would it have eye tracking? That would make sense as well. It will have the gaze. I mean, that's some of the reports are saying that as well. Let me just speak on the Quest 4 really quickly. I'm actually happy that it's also been pushed to 2027 because, just like you said, I don't think there's many stuff that are taking advantage of it. There's been upgrades, which is great, but there's still so much more potential. You see something like Batman and how polished that is. A lot of games could be like that, but they just need time, right? They just need a lot of time to come out. These games are not quick to make. They're not cheap to make either. And also, you've got the shift, like the Horizon OS is now going to be, it's open-ended now, right? So it's going to different companies. And I think, is it Asus that already announced that they're going to come out with like a pro gaming headset rather with that software and such. So they could easily go the PC route and just be like, okay, maybe we do make like a headset like a Quest 4, but it's going to be like relatively cheap and specific to certain people, maybe just a casual person that they can subsidize and such. But then you can get like a better version. You can get a Quest 3 Pro and such, but like through Asus, which will build something like that. Obviously be a lot more expensive and everything. But yeah, I think they go PC route.
The thing that they'll never have is the Apple customer that has the watch, the
ecosystem.
iPhone. Yeah, they can't replicate the ecosystem as much as Zuck wants it. Nobody's getting the Facebook phone.
No, but they'll do Android, right? They'll try and merge it to Android as much as they possibly can, and same as Windows as well, and try and merge it as possibly they can. It's an interesting move because Valve's going to come out with theirs at some point, with the
Yeah, but
Decade, which is
Valve's
meant
will
to be
be
modular.
that'll be more gaming
You
focused.
would think
One would
so.
think.
Yeah, one would think. But then there's reports that Apple are also doing their version of this like towards the end of this year. We might find out some more next week at WWDC. Probably not, but we might do. Things are happening. Things are happening. I personally wouldn't like. Obviously, I use a Quest all the time, and I'm pretty happy with the Quest. But as we've spoken about on prior shows, the software is, to me, like one of the worst parts of it, and it's getting better. And we'll talk about a UI change later on as well. But it's that will turn me off it more. Is just because of the OS. Like that's why I'd prefer an Apple Vision Pro, is because I know their software is solid. Like it works really well. It normally works as intended, and it's fluid. Yeah, and I use a Mac. Yeah, but that won't be. I think when the Vision Pro becomes like a much easier price point to swallow, I'd want it to be not maybe like a replacement to the Mac. Like it's basically another computer, but you can just use it without a Mac. That will be when I would want to jump in. But
That makes sense.
I think we're a bit away from that. But yeah, quick question before we move on here. If Asus came out with like a pro version of like Quest 3 or anything like, would you ever be interested? Because personally I wouldn't be, because I'd be more interested about what games are coming out, and like I'm not really interested in a pro version unless the games can follow suit.
For right now, I'm pretty good on hardware. I have been loving my PlayStation VR 2 though.
Yeah, but they make use of the hardware though. They are like they're pushing the hardware. Like with that Pro, they're utilizing it. It's like whether or not they utilize it and such. So it just depends. We'll see. All right, that was one of the big news.
Number one.
Let's go to smaller news stories for a real quick second. The not Upload VR, sorry, the VR Game Showcase has announced a special developer direct on June 10th. RoboQuest VR is going to guaranteed to be there. And there's 2 other games that they're going to go through. And the whole idea is they're going to go through gameplay, go through new details, and behind the scenes.
A nice dive into them.
Yeah, like a proper deep dive into them. Yeah. So we'll talk about that next week, because June 10th is on Tuesday. So maybe we record on Tuesday, Samson, so we can talk about that. But I'm excited to see the RoboQuest stuff.
Is there a time for it? Is it during the day?
Probably is. I don't know. I don't know. I'll pull it up right now. Let's have a look here. The time is at 9 a.m. Pacific time.
There you go.
So
noon.
There you go. Noon. Noon Eastern. So yeah, I'm excited to see the RoboQuest, because that looked like a really good title from Flat to VR. But yeah, we'll see. I'm
excited for the other ones.
Yeah, fair enough. They might be announced already before you listen to this. They said they'll announce them beforehand, so you may already know them. But yeah, that's coming soon, which is a nice change. And obviously their main VR gaming showcase or VR game showcase will be in August. I think they already announced. And you've also got the Upload Summer Showcase, which is in July. So things are happening over these next 3 months. Damn. We're getting the announcements.
We got to take some days off from work and do some live streams.
Right. Speaking about the all these conferences and such, so the Summer Games Fest is this week, but yeah, by the time you're listening to this, and the Summer Game Fest I feel like is like a bit of a replacement of what E3 used to be, where there'll be like that. This is a time where all the announcements are and such. Obviously Sony had their state of play already, but whoever owns the Summer Game Fest already announced.
Jeff Keighley, right?
Is it Jeff Keighley? Yeah, probably. He's done a lot, to be fair, in this industry. Meta are confirmed to be there. So Meta are confirmed to be there. We don't know if anything is going to be announced. We'd assume so, if Meta are confirmed. The rumors are...
Rumor has it
that it's a Deadpool VR game, Samson.
Oh, yeah. Neil Patrick Harris.
right. It's from like one website called Game Sandwich, which I've never heard of. So take this rumor
I'll eat the
as a
sandwich.
yeah, you can. And they just report it will be a full campaign and a completely original story. I don't know if this is true or not. I hope it
Yeah,
is.
this has got to be true. No,
Um,
I don't know. But Gamertag said that he thinks it's true, and I'll believe what Gamertag's saying. I'll eat this
yeah.
copium. But I do think that it's brought to us by the Twisted Pixel developers who brought us the Path of the Warrior,
Mm.
and I think it's a Meta Studio, and what have
Hmm.
they been working on, right?
No, it's true that we did
Oh,
do an episode. You're right. We did do an episode. Was it earlier this year? I think,
yeah.
where or late last year, where we went through all of the Meta Studios. We did the research, and yeah, we found out that one of them that owns Path of the Warrior. What was the studio again? Sorry,
Twisted Pixel.
Twisted Pixel. Yeah, we have no idea what they've been doing. They've like that's the last thing they did, Path of the Warrior, and I think that came out in like
Years,
2020 or
yeah.
2019 or something, and it's been crickets. So you're right. I think this could be it could be correct.
And they've
From
wanted,
them,
they love Marvel, you know, they got the, I
they got the
mean,
Batman, the
the
Marvel
Batman and the
Batman.
Iron Man before that, you know.
Yeah, yeah, the Marvel Batman. Yeah, that's right. The
Exactly.
DC Batman. But yeah, they got the comic books, and yeah. So I mean, that was Camouflage who did Iron Man and did Batman. And I will be I'm Twisted Pixel. I keep forgetting the name.
Yeah, you nailed it.
Yeah, Twisted Pixel. That makes 100% sense. Whether it is Deadpool or not, I don't know. We'll see. But 100% sense that we'll see the next game from them. So I am very excited to see that. Um, you like some Deadpool?
I could care less about Deadpool. I could really care less about probably most of this, but you know, I'm very happy. I'm sure there's a lot more. I'm abnormal in my, uh, you know, apathy towards this game. I feel.
Roger that. Maybe when you see it, you'll be more
Yeah,
excited.
yeah. I mean, right now, tis but a rumor.
How about this next one, Samson? There's not a rumor. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles VR game is coming to Quest, and it's coming from the folks.
Cowabunga!
It's coming from the folks between Gone to Cortopia. They revealed like a pizza eating teaser with a few screenshots of the game, but nothing more. Samson, do you want to read the quote that they've come out with?
Yeah, I'd love to. Don the Mask of Leonardo, Raphael, Donatello, or Michelangelo in the first ever Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle VR game. In the vacuum left by Shredder's demise, the Foot Clan's grip tightens on the streets you once called home. It's time to reclaim what's yours. The description explains.
Oh, says that my cue. You can do. Oh, he's done it again. Oh, he's gone.
Master each turtle's signature weapon with precision strikes and blocks in this first person action adventure. The game will
Okay.
feature some parkour
You
and
can
co
stop.
op for up to 3 players.
First person as well. Oh boy, yeah. I need to remember what you're going to read out so I can trim the fat. I always forget that you're going to say absolutely every word that's on the script. That's hilarious. So as Samson's in a laughing fit here, this if you've not seen the screenshots already, they're really cool. It's like a cell shaded kind of graphics. Think about Jurassic World Aftermath. Kind of looks like that, but it does on the screenshots. It looks really, really nice. I don't think they've told you where the screenshots have come from, but I'm assuming they're the Steam screenshots, to be honest, in terms of graphics. But they're the same ones that's on Steam and that are on Quest. It's Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Empire City is what the game is called, and unfortunately, it's out in 2026. It's not going to be this year. That was the biggest bummer. I was so excited,
Dan,
and then I was like, ah.
Dan, you know what month it is, right? We're already halfway here.
Yeah, that's true. It could be January 2026. Who's to say? But yeah, I'm not too sure when this will come out. But I'm pumped for this. I think it'll be. It seems like with the co-op up to 3 players, and it's what I've read. You can play the single player as well.
Yeah.
And yeah, you basically choose your turtle, and you'll do some parkour, you'll do some fighting and all sorts. And
But Dan,
I'm excited.
I noticed that it's co-op for up to 3 players, but there's 4. So,
No. So you'll be one, and then it'll be 3 players.
okay. That makes way more sense. I was getting nervous there.
Yeah, I think you're still lost in your little your readout.
I'll tell you this, Dan. First of all, we'll be doing some big screen nights for this in a year or whenever it comes out. We'll be ordering pizza, or I will. You know, everybody can do that for themselves. And yeah, I'm not the biggest Ninja Turtle fan because I keep calling them Ninja Turtle instead of Ninja Turtles. So that's the first giveaway.
Or Ninja Tortoise.
I do think I'd be more excited for the Tortoise Ninjas than I will be for Deadpool.
Roger that.
Yeah. Ninja Turtles are way cooler than any superhero in my mind.
Are we watching
no superhero, though.
Are we watching the films in we watching the movies in big screen? Is that the
yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
We'll watch the 2007 one.
Damn, we're gonna go back to the 90s.
Oh, we're going that far. That'll be cool. I feel like the 90s ones are classics, to be honest. We can watch all of them. Yeah, we watch them all. We'll watch all 3. We'll watch all 3.
Time.
Why not? We got time. Yeah, we got time. And yeah, I wonder how they did critically. Probably not that great, but I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, absolutely. We'll watch these movies in big screen. So come on down to our Discord for next year's big screen watch. So we can watch these. Yeah, I agree. I feel like I'm not as excited for the Deadpool game just because I haven't seen it yet. That's all. But I'm pretty sure, depending on how it looks and what the game is, I'm going to be excited. Deadpool's a fun character. Deadpool's like a really fun character to play.
Yeah, I mean, I like the sarcasm. Deadpool's cool, but he's got all weapons, right? That's his
he's got
Batman deal.
Swords and guns and all that. Yeah, but Batman just uses fists. And gadgets,
but my point is, he's got no like superhero strength. You know, he's got what I mean.
Right, he's just a burn victim in a mask. Yeah,
but there was no footage of Teenage Ninja Turtles, right?
No, it was just a pizza box, and everyone was grabbing this pizza slice. I'm super excited for this. I think I have no idea what it's going to be like, obviously, but the fact that each turtle is going to have their signature weapon, and you'll have to master that with the strikes and the blocks and such is going to be so much fun. Especially with the replayability as well. Like if you play with one character, you might want to play with the other one again and such. It's going to be fun.
All right, Dan, you need to pump the brakes on the hype. It's over your way.
I'm still hyped. Let us be hyped. We don't know what else is coming out this year until later on in these news stories. So
it's a storm, Dan. There's so much.
Let us know in the comments if you're hyped for Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. The only thing that was it.
I want to know if you're more hyped for Ninja Turtles than you are for Deadpool.
Deadpool will be more hyped from. By the time people are listening to this, if June the 6th is Meta announced something, then they'll be already hyped, and we won't know until the week after because we're always a week behind. So yeah, we'll be a week behind.
Damn these airwaves. They're so slow.
Damn it. Yeah, I'm pumped. Final news story of part 1 before we go to part 2 of more news stories. We have, I've lost it, a new UI overhaul coming to Horizon OS. So it's in the public. It's in the public test channel currently. Users can test this out if you are in the public test channel, and you can get this update. I have not. I just wait.
I can tell because anybody in it, they call it the PTC.
The PTC. No one knows. Some people don't know what the PTC is.
I know, but it's great. We're for the people. But I'm saying, if you used it, you'd probably call it the PTC.
That's fair. Let's go for the spiel real quick. That was on Upload VR. So it's much more cleaner. It kind of gives me some sort of PS5 vibes in a way in terms of how it is. But essentially, the navigator moves the main system interfaces like the library, quick controls, and camera in this new overlay, essentially, which is much more immersive and kind of works with the 2D apps too. And they all have like this translucent background. I wouldn't say as far as an Apple Vision Pro's translucent background and such, but it's getting towards there, and it's like
it looks like it takes up a huge space.
Yeah, it's huge, and it's like I said, much more immersive itself, and you can pin a bunch of stuff as well. So you can pin up to 10 items. But there was a quote from Meta that they said, "We designed Navigator based on everything we've learned over the last decade, and this is just the beginning of a broader evolution of the Horizon OS. We've got so much more planned in the future of spatial computing, so stay tuned." And this kind of confirms like their stance of what's happening next year in terms of they're going to this new spatial computing VR headset, which is going to use this new OS, and this is kind of putting the preparations in. Yeah. The only one little thing that I've seen on the screenshots is that I wish the icons looked a bit nicer. That's the only thing that I would say. They don't really pop. But hey,
look at this stand though. You can pin 10 items.
10. Yeah, 10. Great.
Wow.
Wow. My biggest thing is that I just hope it's fluid. I hope it's as fluid as they're showing, because that's one of the biggest problems with the Quest with the Quest OS is that there's lack of fluidity. Basically, it's like very choppy at times, and it's I would say it's very old Android in a way sometimes. But and then the other biggest problem is nothing to do with the UI; it's to do with the actual store itself, which is and lack of some apps. So I mean, we've had a whole podcast episode on it and such. So we'll see. Like I said, it's like the start of it. It's just like a little preview, little sneak peek. There's going to be more that's happening, and I feel like by the time this new headset comes out that next year, it's going to look probably a little bit different. It's going to be like have the basis of it, but there's going to be a lot more going on, and it may even look a little bit different too with their feedback and such. But yeah, that's coming, and it's coming in the next few months. Like we don't know exactly, but they say in the next few months. So it's currently testing, but it's going to be a big change. It's going to be a big change when you see it. I used to like the big UI changes. I think I don't even remember the Xbox 360 used to have big UI changes like every 2 years or something. They changed the UI.
Really?
Yeah, like they used to have like when you first get the 360, it was like these blades, and then they changed to this completely different like it was like tiles essentially that you can scroll through, and then they changed that to, can you remember what the Windows Phone looked like, which was just like literal 2D tiles on there. So they had 3D tiles and then changed to 2D tiles. Like it was if you look at the evolution of when the Xbox first came out to when it finished before the next one, totally different. Like the UI, they changed it so many times.
I'll have to dive that one on YouTube.
Yeah, they changed it quite a few times, and I really missed the second one because the second one I thought was the best, which you can get on the Steam Deck.
I remember themes. I remember the blades.
That was the original. Yeah, that was the original, and that got switched. And yeah, I'll send you a little video. Anyway, I'm excited for a UI change. It's always fun, and they may have addressed a lot of concerns during this. Is always a good time, but things are happening. Samson, that will do for part one. Part two, we'll get into some more news because there's some games that have been announced, some new gameplay that's been announced for 2025 games as well. So we'll get into that real shortly. We'll see you in part two.
Hey, we know public lobbies in VR games can be a bit toxic, feel a bit empty at times. That's why we created the Let's Talk Oculus Discord, a friendly community that you can join for multiplayer meetups, general VR chat, the game, and chat about VR, fitness motivation, and there's even a very impressive 3D printing channel. Join over 100 of our community members in the Let's Talk Oculus Discord for free. The link is right in the description.
All right, welcome back to part 2. This is the VR storm that is coming, I would just say. I don't know what that was, but let's continue.
It's a VR storm is chilly, Dan. What do you mean? You don't know what that is?
Let's continue. Behemoth has just released its new Rites of Wrath update, which is going to be completely free and gets a brand new 2 modes, basically. They have Arena and Boss Rush mode that is coming. They're basically, the Boss Rush mode is like a bunch of trials, essentially, which lets you fight any of the behemoths as you've played in the campaign, but with different loadouts and such, so you can kind of like fight them in different ways.
Have new ways to take down the behemoths.
Yeah, and the arena mode has actually been there already in like beta, but now it's got the full release where arena mode works just like waves, essentially, where you get waves of enemies and you have to go through and so on and so forth. I really need to get back into this game just to see what it's like. I don't think I have too much interest anymore of this game, but I really want to jump in just to see how much it's changed, because I know it's changed quite a lot, and they had the Quest 3 graphics update and so on and so forth. Yeah, I was okay with it. I think the main problem with it, I felt, was just I didn't really get on with the combat much, to be honest. But I'm assuming you haven't played that since we talked about it.
No, I have not.
Yeah, fair enough. This next one, though, Samson, this one's an exciting one. We got the first footage of Demeo's Dungeons and Dragons crossover, Battlemarked.
This one looks good.
It looks really good. So the upcoming game features dramatic cutscenes, richer dialogue, and deeper player choices. It's going to be cross-platform co-op multiplayer, which has been confirmed, which you'd assume as well. 2 campaigns will be featured at launch, with further DLC campaigns planned with different D&D settings as well. So you could probably play the 2 campaigns in, complete with different settings. So it's going to feel very different as well. It's coming out on Quest 2 as well, so if you're on Quest 2, you're not going to miss out. It launches late 2025. There's probably going to be something like a November release, to be honest, or December release. Who's to say? It's late 2025. And they gave us some gameplay, Samson. What do you think of the gameplay? Because I think it looks really good.
Yeah, this game has piqued my interest, to say the least. And I'm not a big D&D guy, but I am a big Demeo guy.
Have you ever played D&D?
Yeah, I did once.
Yeah. But I guess I remember you saying the imagination is what hurt you a little bit. Where this one, you don't have to think about it. There's no dungeon master. There's no imagination. It's all there. It's right in front of you. It looks beautiful.
All the worst parts of real D&D, for me personally,
taken care of.
Are gone. Yeah.
Yeah, it looks beautiful too. Like obviously it might be just showing like the Steam version and such, but I mean the Quest's pretty good at Demeo in general as well. But it looks absolutely beautiful, and I love how obviously Demeo's on a board, of course. It's the whole aspect of it, but this one feels like you're going through like an actual map. Like there's different, so it's up to 4 players. And it's the same like turn-based combat and such that you've seen in Demeo. Even the dice looks the same, and they have the same kind of cards and tiles, cards are different, but yeah. So like a lot of that looks very similar. But then they have like on the trailer they have like a big map, which is your game board, but it has High Road, Neverwinter, the Craigs, Neverwinter Wood, and Tribor Trail. And it seems like you go into these actual areas, and then like that's one map, for example. So it's not just like a specific set board. You go into it, and it's a full like world that you're kind of traversing into, which looks excellent. I'm so excited to play this one.
Samesies, but we have a while to wait. What? No more than 6 months, unless there's a delay. If they need to delay, it's okay.
I don't think they'll delay. I think they'll be great. I think they'll be absolutely fine. It's coming on flat screen as well, of course, which I'm assuming it'll be very similar to Demeo, where if you can play on flat screen against people in VR as well. You can do that. So it'll probably have all the same kind of things. I feel like maybe at launch or maybe later at launch, they might have like the same kind of like hideout, shall we say, where you could like hang out, potentially paint figures or just see like figures and such, and that kind of thing. I feel like a lot of Demeo aspects will be in it, but I'm glad it doesn't look like. I was worried that it's going to be just Demeo with a new fresh paint, essentially like a DLC,
just like those
essentially.
boards,
But it looks very different in terms of like gameplay is going to be similar, but the actual like game itself with the big vast landscapes and such is going to be very different. So late 2025, add that to your list, Samson. Let's go to a little smaller news story. If you got any hockey fans listening, the NHL fans, the Stanley Cup Finals is currently it's just started as when we're recording this first game.
Who's in it, Dan?
Edmonton Oilers versus Florida Panthers.
Who's going to win? It's a repeat of last year. Isn't
it? It is
correct?
A repeat of last year. I think it's finally Edmonton's year. I'm not going to lie. It hurts me to say this because I'll be a Vancouver Canucks fan and I don't want Edmonton to win. But I feel like they have the best player and it's their time finally to actually do it. But who's to say?
I, too, will root for Edmonton. Go Canada.
Yeah. They haven't won it since 93, Canada. Since 93.
It's been Montreal.
Montreal won it, yeah. Crazy.
That's a really long time.
That's a long time. I wasn't born. I was born in 94.
Toronto was in it for a few times against the Bruins, I remember. But
yeah, they can't get past the Bruins.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, I'm a Canucks fan, not the Toronto fan, to be honest. But okay, so yeah, with the Stanley Cup Finals, if you're in the US, you can watch it on X Stadium for free, which is really cool. In Rinkside. I don't know if I've ever heard that before, but makes sense.
That's a tough word.
In 180 degrees. I'm definitely going to check this out. In fact,
you in a VPN?
Yes, so that's the thing. So like this works with a VPN. If you don't know how to do a VPN on a Quest, you have to download it via SideQuest. I'm sure if you Google it, you'll be able to find out. But if you can, I've got Express VPN on my Quest, and if I change it to US, this works absolutely fine. I've watched the NBA through there before.
Dan, not to break the fourth wall or anything, but the game's going on right now.
Yeah, no, the game.
You could try it. You could try it after this podcast.
I will definitely try it after this podcast. Yeah, because the game's just actually it's not even started technically. It's meant to start right now, but it's always like half an hour after you think.
Ads began. Okay.
Yes, it will begin by the time we finish this. So yeah, you can watch that, which will be really cool to see. I don't know. I don't think we've had hockey as one of the sports in X Stadium yet.
I've seen highlights in it, and it's very cool to be. Hockey's very fun in this. Right behind the goal, there's a lot of action going on. It's pretty much just as tough to follow as normal hockey.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it is a little tough to when it cuts. Like in basketball, it's a little slower. When it cuts the camera, it's a little more natural. You understand where you're going to be looking and where it's going to be cutting. Whereas hockey, things can happen so much faster.
Fast. Yeah.
But hockey's a fun one to be up on it, right? Because you crunch.
Oh, for sure. And the thing is with hockey, it's so expensive to go to games, like in general. Like for some reason, the NHL is so, I mean, it might be a bit more of a rich person sport to go to at least, but they're all expensive
courtside type of deal.
Courtside for sure, yeah, for sure. But at least, I mean, I guess I went to a Toronto Raptors game, and I guess they're so bad that you could sit anywhere pretty much for a really good price. So I guess it just depends on how the team's doing.
Yeah.
But yeah, the Leafs are always way too expensive to go. But yeah, anyway, that's that. We got another game announcement. Hidden Memories of the Gardens Between has been announced for Quest. This actually came out on flat screen in 2018, and it's a puzzle adventure game that finds two best friends, Arena and Friend. It's Friend with a T at the end. Falling into a strange world, arriving in a land filled with garden islands, you're tasked to manipulate the time to discover each island's secrets. It includes 40 new puzzles that promises more immersive interactions, such as painting or physically constructing objects in this world. There's a little quote here. Samson, do you want to read the quote without saying the stuff in between the quotes?
I'm going to say it all. Hidden Memories of the Gardens Between is a tribute to the friendships from our childhoods that felt so impossibly large with unbreakable bond, says Simon Jocelyn, co-founder of Voxel Agents, in a prepared statement. We wanted to tap into something relatable, familiar, and nostalgic through the lens of VR. The magic of being a kid is fleeting, but the story of Arena and Front captures that enchantment in a beautiful package.
Yeah. Sorry, I was watching the trailer while she said it, so I didn't realize she finished. It looks absolutely beautiful. It's a game that I'm 100% going to pick up. I've actually never heard of it, but it's got so many awards. And yeah, it looks really good. It's like the whole thing's on this little island essentially, and you're traversing the island, doing the puzzles on the island. It's a small area in a way, but it looks like you can open up the puzzles and bring them in front of you, and such. So the art style looks beautiful. I'm really excited to try this out. This was announced during the Shack News E4 showcase, which is like an indie showcase. So yeah, that looks fantastic. So it's being rebuilt for VR. It's going to come out on Meta and it's going to come out on Steam. No PSVR for those. Oh, also, if you are on Steam, you'll have a demo which comes out from next week.
Steam Fest next fest.
Steam Next Fest next week, June the 9th to 16th. There will be a demo in there. Samson, you should definitely try it out.
Don't tell me what to do.
You should definitely try it out for the show. For the people listening, you should try it out. It will be on Quest 2 as well. I just want to reiterate that it's fine on Quest 2. And yeah, like I said, it's out later in 2025. What do you think of this one?
Yeah, I mean, I'm excited. It's not the hypest of hype, but it looks like a fun little game, Dan. And more my speed, right? It's probably more my speed than Deadpool.
That's what I was thinking. That's what I was thinking. I was like, this is more up your alley, I think, for sure.
It's just that I don't like Midnight Walk. I was like, I saw the things. I was like, oh, that's something I know I want to play. But like the hype wasn't. I'm not like, go, woo, 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 it came out.
You're not a hype guy.
I mean, sometimes I like to hype. Sometimes but something but these games that I sort of like know, it's kind of backwards, Dan. These games that are for me, I get less hyped about than like the ones where you're like, whoa, which is terrible. I should get more hyped for the ones that I actually like.
That's okay. Like, some people get too crazy hyped.
I do hype up Breachers, Synthriders. I used to hype up Grab all the time.
Yeah, all the time. Bocce time. Let's take a little segue from game announcements because there is one more. But to quickly go back to the Wall Street Journal, which if I ordered this correctly, I would have put this earlier, but I forgot about this one. Meta is in talks with Disney and A24 about new content coming to a VR headset. And it's meant, according to the Wall Street Journal, it's meant for a premium virtual reality device headset that it plans to release next year. And it's offering millions of dollars for episodic and standalone immersive content. It's apparently not been confirmed or anything, but they're just trying to negotiate. They're trying to do a deal with them. And they're probably showing the actual VR headset as well.
What I don't understand is the headset comes out in a year. How can they get this content done that quickly?
Well, they'll probably... Well, with like the Apple Vision Pro, they've got Disney and they have a lot of 3D content, which is brought into it. So I'm assuming a lot of 3D content.
They're like adapt content that's sort of,
Yeah, for the first part, but then eventually will come out. A24 is a big one. I like a lot of movies that come out from A24. I really like their style of production that they do. Obviously, we talked about this a long time ago, but they got into bed with James Cameron and he announced like a multi-year exclusive partnership to bring 3D content. That seems like he was talking about this headset that comes out next year. In fact, I'm pretty sure he says in there, he alludes to it where like he's not allowed to say anything, but it looks amazing or something like that. But that's obviously going to be the one that's coming out next year as well. So that's all there. Yeah, it's all going to be there. And they're going to try and combat. It's going to be a big, once again, it's going to be like a Netflix, Disney, Hulu kind of streaming service war, but with headsets.
It's something weird because
It's weird, yeah.
What I feel like it'll be is when they sign like an exclusive for a year, and then after a year, like they can bring it to their own headset type of deal.
Probably. The good thing about this stuff though is that we're all talking about all this like partnerships and such. It's probably going to be available on Quest 3 as well. I wouldn't see Meta only doing it for this, like they'll do it for their whole ecosystem. So in that case, if they do get this on board, it would be great because then we'll actually have a Disney Plus app on our Quest and potentially an A24 app, which doesn't exist, but maybe potentially. But all this stuff should come to Quest, and maybe the best experience is to have it in this like expensive one that comes out next year. But whatever, like the Quest lenses are so good, it's so I'll be shocked if they just isolate it and only put it onto the premium. It doesn't make any sense to me. So I think it'll be stuff to look forward to for people who are listening to the show as well. This one might not be Quest 2, but for sure Quest 3 should get it, and I'll be shocked. I think that's a terrible move.
Most of the videos you can usually just install or so you can get a higher quality type of deal. Yeah, it's more like a size than like what it can handle.
Yeah, so it makes sense for them to do this because Apple Vision Pro's got these partnerships, and they've been doing all these like the Weekend and Metallica concert experiences. They just had the U2 one with Bono that just came out as well. So, and they obviously got their own streaming service, which they'll probably pump out more immersive content as well. And yeah, it seems like this is it's a good idea because otherwise people are like, why would I bother getting the VR headset? Because I can just watch it on my massive TV, which is really nice and it's comfortable, and I can watch it with other people in my house and such. But you need to incentivize, and to have like actual immersive content, which is specific to the headset, is what will get people on board.
Yeah. We'll see
for sure. Samson, last news story of the episode here. This is just fresh off the press, to be honest. Thief VR Legacy of Shadow has just been announced for Quest. It was actually announced on the State of Play for PlayStation VR, but it's been confirmed it's coming to Quest as well. Vertigo Games is the publisher. Think Arizona Sunshine. Maze Theory is the developer. Think Infinite Inside, which is one that I need to get back into. Samson, do you want to read this little spiel here?
Yeah, I'd love to. You play as a thief called Magpie, who's been orphaned by the tyrannical Lord Ulysses, Northcrest, who rules the city. As Magpie, your journey begins after uncovering a legendary artifact holding a legacy from the past. The studio states on the PlayStation blog that you'll need to carefully use every inch of the environment to remain undetected, sneaking across dark alleyways, while also scaling rooftops and buildings. Mm-hmm. Light sources can be extinguished using water arrows, hands, or even a well-aimed breath. And Vertigo Games states heists will require abilities like lockpicking, breaking into chests. That sounds an awful lot like lockpicking. And finding hidden switches. Archery will be your main form of combat, with the Sense controllers providing haptic feedback for each action, though not on Quest.
Not on Quest.
Out later this year.
Yeah, this is another big game that's coming out this year. I never played Thief, but I know my uncle played Thief, and he said it was a really good game. It gives him like kind of Assassin's Creed vibes in a way, without like the fighting involved, because it's a stealth game, right? But it's kind of got that same kind of sneaking around, climbing, parkour, that kind of thing. But he really liked it, I remember. But I actually never played it because I think it came out on early, in like PS4, like that type of mode. But yeah, it looks really good. I wouldn't say I'm super, super excited just yet. I want to see more of this. It looks really good on PlayStation, judging from the graphics and such. I'm sure it will look decent on Quest 3 as well, if they've definitely optimized it for Quest 3. But yeah, it looks really solid, and it's another game that I need to add on the list.
I see Midnight Walk sort of teaches me a little bit. I think I kind of like stealth. much more than I like Batman. There's too much going on. What am I doing? Am I throwing grenades? Am I throwing smoke grenades? Am I?
They do it right though, at least.
There's so much going on, and whereas this more of a stealth game, I feel like you're more just like trying to sneak. It's less less having to figure out how am I going to attack these people. More like how do I dodge any scenario here? And it looked pretty good. I'd probably pick this one up on the PlayStation over.
Oh, for sure. So. I would, especially now you got a Pro. It makes so much sense, you know. But I remember, was it Vampire Masquerade Justice? It kind of looks similar to that in a way as well, in terms of the way you traverse, and that was a fun game. That was a fun game. I didn't complete it. I know Live Over Mike did, but I did.
Loves them.
Yeah, I did enjoy. That was from Fast Travel Games, I think. But this one's obviously Vertigo who's publishing this, but Maze Theory are doing it. So yeah, I'm excited for this. Before we round this section off, just a quick overview here for the games that are coming out. So we've got the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, which is out in 2026, so we can ignore that for a while because it's coming out ages. But we're going to have this developer direct soon with RoboQuest VR being one of the games, which will be out this year. I believe the potential Deadpool VR game, and if Meta are going to announce that, for sure it's coming out this year. It's going to be their big game. You've also got the Demeo Dungeons and Dragons Battlemarked, which is coming out this year. Hidden Memories of the Gardens Between, which is an award-winning puzzle game, which is coming out later on this year. And finally, Thief VR. I'm not going to lie, all of these games that we've talked about, they're on my list already. They all look fantastic from what we've seen of them. And yeah, I can't wait. It's happening. Sure. We're finally getting the announcements. We finally know that these games are coming, and I'm excited to see what Meta actually show. What if they show something else? What if it's GTA San Andreas, Samson?
Yep. What if it is? Then I might have a heart attack.
You'll have to eat your hat. All right, that'll do for part 2. And part 3, we'll round off the show with what we've been playing and also the games out this week. So we'll see you in part 3. Let's Talk Oculus is available on all good podcast platforms and some rubbish ones as well. If you want to see the video version, it's available on YouTube and Spotify. And also, if you love us so much, then consider throwing us $1 at patreon.com/Let's Talk Oculus. Back to the show. Welcome back to part 3. The VR Storm is coming in episode 189. I've been away for the last 10 days, so I actually haven't played anything. But Samson, you finished a game. Tell us about it.
I rolled myself some credits. And Dan, it's starting to get hot. It's hitting the 90s here, by the way, this week. So it's at like too hot for VR time for you. Not for me, though, because the Midnight Walk.
I have AC. Just remember that.
I finished it. I took the Midnight Walk. That's so un-British of you.
What?
I have AC. Yeah.
Get back to Midnight Walk.
So Midnight Walk is essentially 5 chapters of glorious, beautiful story and art. And it's got an art style in the vein of Nightmare Before Christmas. Everything sort of feels stop motion-y, very, very kind of grim, dark, if you will.
Very Tim Burton, right?
Yeah, there you go. That's a good one.
Yeah. Also, just a quick thing: PSVR 2 or flat screen. So if you've not got a PSVR 2, you can play this flat screen on Steam and PlayStation.
Yes.
Continue.
Yes. So once I got past the initial fright of being got by the monster, I sort of was no longer scared. For the most part, okay. I would just close my eyes when the monster came to get me. When I knew I was got, I just closed my eyes and I'd wait for it to open. But there's a cool shut your eyes mechanic. There was one time though where I was sort of stuck on a puzzle, and it had me continuously using this mechanic, and my eyes got tired, so I did switch to using the triggers at some point a little bit. But still, such a cool mechanic with the PlayStation. So each level is very linear, and I love it. No
way you're getting lost.
Yeah, I'm not exactly. And the only places, that you can explore a bit, and you just get a little bit more story when you do that.
Right.
So each level has sort of like a cornucopia that you can pick up, and it plays like an audio log. And you can kind of carry that around as you explore more. Then you can find records where you can play songs from the soundtrack, and you can find little creatures. The creatures you find little little models of them.
Nice.
And
that's cool.
as you're going through the story, you encounter these creatures. You encounter things at certain times, and that's sort of why it's linear. So that's why it makes sense. There's like some set pieces, all right? And it really just feels like you're playing through a very good book. I almost want to say children's story, but it's a bit more. It feels more adult. Yeah, a bit more adult than that.
That's fun.
And it's just very beautiful. Dan, I cried at the end.
No way.
There's a couple endings for sure. I haven't played them all yet. I loved it. I loved every minute of it. I played through most of it pretty much in one big. Like I played a little bit before PAX, and then I pretty much played it all day and until I played it through. Nice, and nice. I really loved it. I did encounter a couple bugs, specifically one where the game would think I was in the closet, but I had already come out of the closet.
Right.
And then I couldn't do anything, so I would just have to quit to the main menu. And there's a lot of autosave, so it wouldn't really set me back. I never really got too stuck on any of the puzzles, which tells me that they are pretty manageable for most people, based on how I am
with
puzzles compared to you and others, it seems. And just a very, very beautiful game. Took me about between 4 and 5 hours. And I didn't find all of the collectibles because at the start I definitely didn't even know to look for them, really.
More reason to jump back as well.
Yeah, I'm not going to really talk about anything specific, Dan, because all the monsters are very cool. There's a couple, they're a bit different from one another. But essentially you have to find your way through some paths, solve puzzles, dodge monsters, and get told a beautiful story.
Yeah, I think I'm going to get this for Steam Deck at the end of the year, like at around winter time or fall, spooky season maybe. Everything you're saying is what I've heard from some reviews in terms of some people have been like they can't stop thinking about all the endings and such, and the whole journey as well and such, which is great to hear. I guess even though it was it felt like it was a flat screen game that also works in VR. Did it feel like
so I will
natural
say,
and such? Yeah, go on.
There are a couple bits where you're like, oh, you just press X. Okay, cool. Like this stuff doesn't bother me. It kind of it happens sometimes in Hitman.
Yeah, fair.
But you're using matches a lot, and you can grab a match and you strike it, and then you can walk around with it, and that kind of felt good. That's
cool.
It's really the most VR thing I felt. And then there's like a sort of a gun at some point, a match gun.
A match gun. Yeah, it's a very dark game, right? And such. How did it look in the headset? It must have looked amazing.
It did look pretty good. There are definitely some parts with low resolution if you start looking real close at things, but I sort of I like to take it all in. And I posted a lot of screenshots. I mean, as a whole, it's very beautiful.
I wonder if this is ever going to be ported to the Quest 3. Just being like, would you say the game is like small enough that it could potentially be ported? Like, it's not like it's too big.
I don't know anything about developing, Dan.
Yeah, I guess. Sometimes when you see a game like, I guess Metro was on Quest, right? But you could easily not been, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah,
with some good effort, maybe.
Maybe. It depends on if there's an exclusive right to it or such, and it depends on how they're done. I mean, they're all small dev.
I'm not sure you can get away with like a flat screen feel when you're just in VR type of deal too.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I also feel like even though if it doesn't come out, I'll probably will just play this in flat screen. I think this game feels like it would be perfect in VR. Like it always enhances, and this is why with PSVR 2, and they're starting to do it for sure. And they used to do it a lot with the PSVR 1. That a lot of games that came out had like some sort of support, whether it's like a little section or like full game that you can play in VR. Because once you go in, it actually like 9 times out of 10, or maybe even closer than to 10 out of 10, like it feels like it's meant to be played in VR. Like Resident Evil felt like that and such. You could play GT7, for example, that feels like it's made for VR, and that's the way to play it. And every time you have that, it's great to have the flat screen version, but then have the option to play in PSVR, which is perfect. That's why I'm still surprised that Astrobot never got the VR announcement, especially today, because it came on the state of play. But I was like, is this time that they're going to announce a VR mode that's finally going to come?
Not quite.
But no. Not quite. Sweet. That's good. You can add that to your list. Checked off. Another game completed.
Bing, bam,
Look
boom.
at us completing games this year. Look at this.
Yeah, we're all new.
We definitely doubled what we did last year. Definitely doubled what we did last year because we probably did one.
They're all. I definitely did more than one, but I don't really remember.
Fair.
I mean, there was Max Mustard. I definitely did one.
Was that last year? I thought it was the year before. Was that last year? I guess probably.
Everything's blended, Dan. We've only been doing this for like 2 months. We did 100 episodes each month.
Yeah, that's exactly what we did. Anything else you wanted to chat about before we get into games this week?
Yeah, Dan. Because I've been playing a lot of Synthriders these days because it's nice outside, and so I could take some breaks at work. And I've been getting into that 90s DLC, Creep, still my favorite one, by Radiohead. A lot of mixed reality mode, Dan. And guess what? I was playing at work out in the parking lot. I parked myself way in the back. I found a new little spot. And
VR corner.
Yeah, there's like an apartment complex, so I think right there. And some dude parked, I assume, to go home. And I could see him at a corner of my eye as I'm synth riding. And I see him, recording me. So I'm in the middle of the song, but I see a little bit of a lull, and so I just wave with the left hand, and I kept playing. And I think the dude sees me, kind of waves back awkwardly, and then stopped recording me, and it went inside.
Oh, that's hilarious!
Pretty good.
I love mixed reality. It's meant for those kind of things. You need that awareness. You need that awareness, especially if you're playing outside or in public or such. Yeah, for sure.
Definitely blew his mind. He did not think I could stop.
No.
It was great.
Not a chance.
So, Synthriders, if you like a nice rhythm game, I recommend it. Also, so many custom tracks. Dan got into Breachers. We've been filling up the lobby like that. And if you can't see me, I just snapped. And it was really fast. One of the fastest snaps. And, Breachers is great. We've been having a blast. We've been having some tough time balancing the teams, but we'll figure it out. Centron joined the Discord, and he's been joining in. He's been improving. Breachers, it's good fun. It's good fun.
Nice.
Smash Drums, a lot of Smash Drums. Dan, when I'm at home, Smash Drums is played on the PlayStation. When I'm on the go, Smash Drums is on the Quest 3 and Mixed Reality. I'm just smashing drums all
day long.
Good time. But yeah, and Dan, I kept going through the songs, and I just kept seeing like one song that I gotta play that one. So I bought like 3 of the DLCs.
Nice, nice. They'll get you.
They'll get you. But they're so good. They're so good. And I've been playing a little bit of the hybrid mode, where you have the drum kit in front of you.
Oh, but the things are still coming at you.
Still come
I
towards
prefer
you.
that mode, actually. That's the mode I would normally play at.
Well, normally I like to stand and like really get into it,
original.
and so I need the original for that because you can't really do that with the drum kit. But I did try once more the Guitar Hero one. I don't understand. Well, like, why do I have a drum kit in front of me and then I'm looking up there at things that are? I don't understand it.
So hard.
Am I old?
That's why I like the hybrid mode. I think the hybrid mode's perfect balance. It feels like you're playing the drums and it's coming at you. It's so difficult with the Guitar Hero mode.
Yeah, it's insane. And on PlayStation, I can do performance or other other modes, Fidelity, I believe.
Right.
And both work. One you get in a better frame rate. One, whoa. Dan, there's
Really?
a new one where you feel like you're at a rock concert, and so you'll be going through the song, and then as soon as you get to whatever feels like the appropriate part of the song where this should happen, fire comes up from the
Wow.
like on the stage,
Wow.
and you just feel so friggin' badass. Like I can't tell you. And on the PlayStation, you know how on the Quest you could spin your drumsticks? When you do that on PlayStation, they each glow and leave like a glow hue behind them, and you just feel like you're spinning glow sticks around.
That's cool.
Dude, let me it is.
They're flexing their muscles in PSVR.
It feels so good. Like Smash. Oh man, Smash drums. Here's the other thing. I realized this talking to Mike because he's like, "Oh, you don't leaderboard chase in Smash drums." And I was like, nah, I realized that Smash Drums is the rhythm game that I play that feels like it was made for me. I was telling you about the DLCs. Each one is for me. That like this game is made for me. I don't care about the leaderboards. I love all the music. I just want to. I feel like I'm the coolest badass drummer when I play this, and it has all my favorite songs that I would love to be playing.
It has a lot of good songs now that it has licensed songs in there. It's and they have like a bunch of like classics, shall we say? I think it's great.
It's
great.
so good.
I haven't jumped in for a while, but the last time I jumped in, I think it was when mixed reality was a big thing. So it's been a minute for sure.
My only problem is that I prefer to sweat in my Quest 3, and I have so much fun playing it on my PlayStation.
Yeah, because with all the effects and such, right?
Exactly. But yeah, and then a little bit of Ancient Dungeon. I might have mentioned this last time, but I love Ancient Dungeon, so I'll get it in here. Some dungeon runs with the squash, just boop boop ba boop ba, unlocking things, and if you want a roguelike where you can play single player or up with 4-player, Ancient Dungeon. It's what do you call that? Voxel art or something? And then, Ancient Dungeon. And then Iron Rebellion, a mech game. Dan, you got to try this one. Very fun. And if you play with you're sitting on your desk chair, you pivot at your elbow in this game to like move, so it just feels very natural in the chair.
Yeah.
And I played this one with Squashy, and you can get up to 4-on-4. I think we only had a 3-on-3 going, but Iron Rebellion, a mech sort of multiplayer game, and it feels so immersive. You know how Dead Second had the touching of the menus?
Yeah.
All the menus are touching like that, and then like voice comms when you start a match, you have to actually touch. You have to turn on your radio in the mech. And then you can go to either the world channel or the team channel, and you can change who you're
cool. And you just press the buttons up there.
Yeah, exactly. So Iron Rebellion, that one's a cool little mech game. And Dan, that wraps it up.
Oh, that's great. Iron Rebellion. Yeah, I remember this one coming out, but I never checked it. I think because it's multiplayer only, right? It's not, there's no campaign or anything.
Yeah.
It looks intense, but fun. We've got Underdogs, which is a completely different mech game, but it's
very different.
That has a lot of immersion because you're in like a cockpit and such. So I can see what you mean with that. But yeah, a solid list there. Solid list of games. The question is, what is Samson going to play for next week?
We'll see. Only time will tell.
Only time will tell. Let's do the games out this week. We just have 3, and then we'll wrap up the show. Samson, since you've been talking so much, I'll start here. The first game we have is Little Thief. Steal from the rich, become a VR Robin Hood. Little Thief is a thrilling VR game where you sneak into wealthy homes, stealing anything you can grab, over 400 unique items, but choose wisely. Your backpack space is limited. Select carefully, steal boldly. Now, why would you just take a backpack? If you're stealing TVs and such, that's not a good idea.
It'll fit.
Prank the homeowner and escape the police. Use your items and your environment to set mischievous traps for unsuspecting homeowners. But watch out, if you're caught, they'll call the police and you'll be forced to make a daring escape. Unlock your thieves' tools with stolen goods, from portraits and jewels, from even to the homeowner's gold teeth. Steal valuable items and cash them in for advanced burglary tools. Unlock new possibilities to enter previously inaccessible areas and snatch even greater treasures. That is Little Thief. I'm not gonna lie. From the reading of that, it sounds so much fun. It's so much fun.
You did a good job.
It's a very like a cartoony art style kind of game. It actually seems more wackier than it sounds when you read it, to be honest. That it sounds way more wackier. It kind of gives me the like What the Bat kind of art style is what I would say. But yeah, no news on terms of price, but as you're listening to this, it will be out, so it will tell you the price. There's no pre-order or anything like that. What are you thinking, Samson? What do you like about this game?
What do I like about it?
Oh, do you like anything about this game?
I don't. It's got a description. I don't think this one's for me, but it looks like it could be fun for those who are looking for this type of game. Perhaps the art style is definitely a whole. It all fits. It looks like it. This is very cartoony.
It's very wacky too.
Dan, you can take people's clothes off.
Yes, you can. You can rip the clothes off the police officer. Yeah.
All right, next game.
I'd actually be excited to play this game. It depends on how much the price, but I'd actually be up for if it was like $10 or something, or $15. I think I'd pick it up. But if it's more than that, which it probably will be, maybe I'll wait for a bit. But this actually looks fun. This actually looks quite fun.
I'm interested in your take.
Yeah, maybe next week. I'll tell you. Back to you.
Oh, thank you. The Phoenix Gene. Rewrite the past. Save the future. The Phoenix Gene is an adrenaline-fueled VR quest for immortality. Control a fierce phoenix, Firestorm, and genetically enhanced Jackie, bonded by fate and driven by the collapse of the Slipstream multiverse. Total immersion. Total action. Fly, dodge, and move your body in this adventurous schlump. Realm toggle to absorb enemy bullets and change what's in your reality. Collect gold flames to unlock game-changing upgrades. Unleash smart bombs. Extend your reach. Boost your flamethrower. Grab shields and quad fireballs. And regenerate faster to stay one step ahead of annihilation.
This is a rail shooter. And if you watch the trailer, it's really wacky and crazy and all over the place. But I feel like it's one of those games that maybe don't translate as well on a trailer, but if you're in it, you'll be into it. But yeah, it's a rail shooter, which means that you're basically this dragon and the environment's moving as you're traversing, going forward all the time and shooting lots of targets and lots of
sounds like adrenaline
stuff is happening. Yeah, that's exactly what it is. A lot of stuff is happening. It actually looks fun, to be honest. It actually looks really fun. So yeah, definitely check that out. Last one, Neon Cypher. Neon Cypher is an action-packed puzzle platformer designed for smooth and engaging gameplay. Across 50 levels, you'll use third and first-person mechanics to solve intricate puzzles and battle enemies blocking your path. As a new recruit in a small team of hackers, your mission is to infiltrate the XE Corp's archive database and retrieve vital information for the Edenite Rebellion, crucial to its survival. Neon Cypher.
Little puzzle game.
Yeah. It looks cool with the art style because it's like it just looks like
what it kind of reminds me of this old. I used to play this old Lego game that was in. It was just like this. It was all in a little big square. That makes sense, right?
Little big square in blocks.
Yeah, little blocks, and you're trying to get from one place to another. You got to move other blocks. You had to use special blocks. It looks just like it, just not Lego themed and more Neon Cypher themed. Yeah. It looks pretty interesting, and I love a good puzzle game.
It's actually another game that looks really good to me. It just looks like, once again, you're in this little space. It's kind of like that game that we just talked about in the news. What was the game called? Hidden Memories of Gardens Between, where everything's in this island. In this one, it's in this like one small area, but like you said, you're just traversing between different areas to try and get to A to B. And yeah, it actually looks good. I think actually all three of the games that we just read out look pretty good. I think this one, Little Thief, more than Phoenix Gene rather. But yeah, I think 3 good games coming out this week. 3 good games coming out this week. Samson, that will do for our show. The biggest.
See ya.
Biggest. It's gone. This is probably the biggest news show we've ever done
for a while,
since like a direct or like since an actual conference. And there might be some more next week. Like hopefully we get this Deadpool release or not release, but announcement. And hopefully we get a few more VR titles over this next week. And we will cover that all next week and such. But for then, I've been Dan. He's been Samson.
Bye.
Thanks so much for listening and watching. Join the Discord if you haven't already. And we'll see you next week.